Hey everyone, hope you're doing good. Welcome to From Planks to Protocols, the podcast that breaks down college stuff so it actually makes sense. I'm Nathan Ayala, a student here at Porterville College, and today we're diving into something that totally threw me off when I first started. Why don't I need to show my transcripts to take English or math? But I do need one for classes like chemistry or engineering. Today I've got with me our Interim Dean of Student Success and Counseling, Stephanie Olmedo-Hinde. Hope I didn't butcher that too much.
You did really good, actually. And thank you for having me, Nathan. I'm excited to be here and really glad we're talking about this. This is actually a topic that recently came up in one of my dual enrollment work group meetings. So you're not the only person that has questions about this topic.
All right, so let's start from the top. What exactly is AB 1705?
Great question. Assembly Bill 1705 is a law that says California community colleges must place students directly into transfer level English and math without requiring placement tests or transcripts. The reason? Research showed that when students were placed in remedial or below transfer level classes, they were actually less likely to finish their degrees or transfer. So, in response, the law was placed to help students move forward faster with the support they needed so they're not stuck repeating content they already learned in high school.
So, is that because people were just bombing the placement tests?
That's part of it, for sure. Before AB 1705, students were pulled out of class in high school to take assessment exams, sometimes for the whole morning. You'd test in English and math, and depending on how you did that one day, you could get placed below a class you already passed in high school. And here's the bigger issue. Those placement tests turned out to be terrible predictors of student success. Whether you had a bad test day or not, the tests weren't reliable, especially in English, and in many cases, math too. So, AB 1705 isn't about letting unprepared students into classes. It's about recognizing that students belong in transfer level courses and that our old system was holding them back unfairly.
That's wild. So, we were using tests that didn't even tell us what students could actually handle?
Yep. Now, instead of sorting people out, we're placing them where they were meant to be all along, with the right support in place to help them succeed.
Okay, so no more all morning placement tests. Man, that sounds like a horror story.
Nope, no horror stories here. We just ask a few short questions about your high school background, like your GPA and the highest math course you completed last, and help you enroll right into the classes that count.
But here's where I got confused. I didn't need anything to register for English C 1000, but when I wanted to take general chemistry, I was told I needed to show my transcripts to a counselor to get a prerequisite clearance. What's up with that?
Totally fair question, and you're definitely not alone in asking that. AB 1705 only applies to English and math placement, entry level English and math, because those are general education requirements and needed for every major. But courses like chemistry, engineering, physics, or even some economics classes have specific prerequisites based on content. So, take chemistry, for example. It requires strong problem solving and quantitative reasoning skills. Much of the course involves setting up and solving equations, analyzing data, and interpreting scientific relationships. Algebra provides the foundation for these skills. There's a lot of balancing of equations and formulas and conversions in chemistry. So, in short, without algebra, students would struggle with the math behind chemistry concepts, which could block their ability to fully engage with the science itself. We're not asking for transcripts to hold anyone back, but to make sure that you have the foundation you need to succeed. Because there's nothing more discouraging than sitting in a class where everyone else seems to understand the material, and to you, it might as well be a foreign language.
So, it's really not about gatekeeping those classes. It's just making sure that we're actually ready for the class before diving in.
Exactly.
Okay, what if I don't know if I've met the prerequisite for a class that I want to take? What am I supposed to do then?
The best thing you can do is meet with a counselor or advisor. They can look at your transcripts, help you submit them if needed, and walk you through all your options. In some cases, you might be able to challenge a prerequisite if you've learned the material another way, like in a different country or through work experience. But that's a subject for an entirely different podcast episode.
All right, let me make sure I've got this right. For English and math, you don't need a transcript or placement test anymore. thanks to AB 1705. But for classes like chem, engineering, and even economics, you'll probably need to show a transcript or prove you've met the prereqs. And if you're not sure, just check in with counseling. They've got you.
Right.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to explain this. As a first-gen student, sometimes I don't even know where to start or what to ask, and I know I'm not the only one. So, this helped a lot.
Thank you, Nathan. And thanks for being so brave and doing this podcast today. I really appreciate it when you show up and you ask questions. We really want our students to do well and succeed and move on to bigger and better things. That's what Student Services is here for. We're here to help you. So stop by AC 126 at the counseling office and ask for a counselor to give you some help.
All right, cool. Well, for those of you still listening, if you want to guest host or pitch an episode idea, go to portervillecollege.edu and search for From Planks to Protocols and complete the interest form. And don't forget, you can catch more episodes on our SoundCloud or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at PC Student Services /podcasts. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you next time.